Everyone online will be starting soon. Namanda, 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 namanda.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Nice to see everyone here for our Blues Church of Oakland's New Year's Eve, or Joya-e Dharma service. This is the time where we come to service because it provides us with an opportunity to quietly, in quiet contemplation on the events of the past year, and to rejoice in gratitude for the many blessings we are able to enjoy. So wonderful to see you all. Thank you very much for being here. My name is Robert, and we're so happy that you're here today, this afternoon. Are you looking forward to ringing the bell?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, good. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But before that, we will start today's service with Sutra Chanting, Juseige, which is on page 23 in the small purple book, and page 93 in the large purple book, which contains the English translation. And for those people that are online, it will appear on the screen. This will be led by Reverend Bridge.
Namanda, 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 namanda. 一種解放像公正苦読法上大宇宙説法四式供養一切物具足種特本元年出上満特異三害を如仏無下地通達未不詳願学営力投資最小損志願や効果大仙を感動国書天人東内妙家
Thank you. We will now have the reading of the three treasures, which is on page 3 in the small purple book, and this will be led by Reverend Bridge.
The three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Buddha Dharma, now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda.
Today's New Year's Eve Dharma Talk will be delivered by our resident minister, Reverend Harry Yokyo Bridge. Chanting.
Online. Mute the YouTube in your office. Namanda, 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 namanda. No. Should I say it? Happy New Year! Happy New Year! In Japan, they don't say that. We say it tomorrow in Japan. In Japan, you don't say Akemashite omedetou gozaimasu until it's actually New Year's Day. And instead, you say Yoi Otoshi o. I don't know what that means. It's kind of like it's been a good year, have a good year. I don't even know. But in America, we're lucky. We can say Happy New Year, even though it's not the New Year yet. It's okay. It's the New Year somewhere, right? I turned on the news this morning, CNN, and they're like, New Year's celebrations around the world. And it's like, really? It kind of deflates the balloon a little bit when you get to ours. But we can still enjoy it. We can still take this opportunity, as Robert mentioned, right, to have this chance to think back on this past year and begin to think forwards into the new year. Right? Look forwards into 2025 as we wave goodbye and maybe good riddance to 2024. A couple things I wanted to talk about that came to mind: ebb and flow and transformation. Okay, ebb and flow and transformation. So ebb and flow, to me, kind of makes me think of the tides, right? High tide, low tide, right? The tide, the ocean comes up, and then it goes back down. You can experience this. You can just go to San Rafael when you cross over the Richmond Bridge, and then on the right there's a Target, right? And so that Target, instead of going into Target, you can park in that lot, and then there's walking paths along that kind of little stretch of the bay. And if you go at different times, you notice that more of the rocks are visible and they've got moss on them, right? Because it's low tide. Or you don't see so much and it's really high because it's high tide, right? I don't even really know like how regular that is. You can look at an almanac, but it's because of the moon, right? It's related to the moon and this kind of seasonal thing that happens really every day. Tide comes in, tide goes out, right? And so we can kind of see those cycles. Another one that I think about is manifested a couple weeks ago, the solstice, right? The winter solstice. So this is sun-related, right? The tides are related to the moon. The seasons are related to the sun. And so we celebrate as Buddhists Ohigan in the spring and the fall. That's the equinox, when day and night are equal. The solstice is when we have the longest, in the summer, it's the longest day and the shortest night. But just a few weeks ago, we had the longest night and the shortest day. Did you notice that the days are getting longer? You can almost notice. It's been a couple weeks, so you kind of notice, right? And so that's another thing that happens. And that solstice, even though we don't really, in Shinshu, we don't do a Buddhist celebration, but I found out there is Japanese observance of that called Toji. And it's this recognition that we're reaching this time when the night is longest, and this is actually when winter begins, right? But at the same time, some people look at it in kind of a negative way. Oh, it's the longest night. Other people look at it in a more positive way. From here on out, the days get longer, right? So depending on how you look at it, we can kind of think about the solstice differently. But I also kind of think of it as we're on the cusp of something, right? Something new is happening, right? That the year is ending and the new year is going to begin. We're going in to this new phase. But it happens every year, year after year after year. I think this is my 15th, if not 16th, New Year's service here at Buddhist Church of Oakland, right? So I've done many, many of these. I know you've been coming to these for years and years, even longer than I've been here. Some of you maybe even longer than I've been alive, right? And so we do this again and again. It's this kind of cycle, right? So that was one thing I was thinking of. In a way, it's like this swing of the pendulum, right? Year in, year out, day in, day out, we go through these cycles and experience these cycles. Maybe that's kind of like samsara, right? In Buddhism, we learn about samsara, the world of delusion, the world of birth and death, the world of birth, sickness, old age, and death, right? And that sometimes we get stuck, and it really is back and forth, and we're just kind of stuck in a cycle. Sounds tiring, huh? Wait till like 50 years from now. Wait till 80, 90 years. Somebody's going to tell me, wait till 80, 90 years. I say, you're young, right? Again and again, right? But in addition to ebb and flow, I also think there's transformation. Transformation. And this happens maybe in a couple different ways. One is, like we just kind of mentioned, getting older. Right? In this back and forth, we don't stay the same. Buddhism teaches us things are always changing, right? And that although I am connected to the person I was 50 years ago, I'm not the same person I was 50 years ago. I'm not the same person I was 1 year ago. I'm not the same person I was yesterday. But there's a connection too. Right? And so this transformation, getting older, the one I'm going to mention briefly, and maybe you can tell, getting sick. Okay? I got sick on Christmas Day, fortunately after I enjoyed Christmas dinner, but I felt it, right? And so normally vacation, you want to have fun and have a good time, but I was just sick for 5 or 6 days, and yet you don't always get better, but usually we get sick and then we get better, right? And that's a process too. And you can tell, right? I feel pretty good, but you can tell with my voice. I could tell when I was chanting, I can tell when I'm talking now that my voice sounds funny, right? It sounds different than it usually does. Tomorrow, I have another service to do. I shouldn't talk too much today. By the end of the week, maybe my voice will be back to normal. Right? And so these transformations that we go through. There are other transformations that we go through as well, which is a big part of what our temple is, and that's when we lose a loved one. Right? Like I said, sometimes we get sick and we don't get better. Right? And that's part of samsara, that's part of life. It's another transformation that we have to go through that is usually one of the most difficult things to go through, both for the person going through it and for those people who love that person. We can also see, how come I got sick? Is it because I think it was just I was around, wasn't around that many people, but I did go shopping before Christmas, so maybe I was around someone who had a cold, right? And I got it, and I got sick. It wasn't COVID, I did COVID test, right? But we still get sick. But sometimes maybe I wasn't taking care of myself so well. Sometimes we push ourselves too hard, and then you kind of relax in the holidays, and that's when you get sick. Other times, maybe your body's not so healthy, you're not eating well, right? So if we don't take care of ourselves, that has consequences too. Right? And so taking care of ourselves as best we can so that we maybe don't get sick as much. But we see when things like that happen. We also want to take care of others, right? It's not just about me. So not just taking care of myself, but trying to help others, taking care of others. The other one, taking care of the world. Right? And it just seems it's a real tragedy what happens to our world, to our planet. Right? We're not out of the woods by any means. Right? And I really hope that things don't change too much in the wrong direction of just plundering the Earth's resources. But this is really, really something, looking out and seeing young people. We want to have a beautiful world for you. We want to have fresh air, fresh water, right? And so it's not only thinking about today, right? That was also this idea, right? Looking back, but also looking into the future. Right? And that it's not only about now, it's not only about me, it's about the future, it's about you, and having a world where you can, right? Have fresh air to breathe, fresh water to drink, hopefully for everyone, right? But that doesn't always happen. The other kind of transformation I want to talk about is not just samsara, but also nirvana, Buddha, right? That it's not just about me, it's not just about this world. Buddha also teaches us about wisdom and compassion. One of the things about samsara that's kind of interesting, and you know how things are always changing, is that even the idea of good, doesn't it just seem like just be good? But what is good? Actually, ideas of what good are always changing, and it depends on who you ask. Right? And so unfortunately, I think a lot of people, maybe in the years to come, are starting to think good means I got to get as much money as I can. Right? Good means I want to be famous. Right? If you look at the internet now, there are some people on the internet, on like YouTube, who are famous about just being mean to people. That's their thing. Right? And because people want to watch that, and they even give them money to be mean, right? And you can make money off that. Is that what you want? Is that good? Right? To be famous? Yeah, I would like to think no. I agree with you, but not everyone agrees with us, right? How about material items, stuff, right? Cars. What kind of stuff do you guys want? iPhone, new iPhone, right? You want to get the new one, right? Having that kind of stuff, right? Some people, that's good. That's what's important, right? And also, is that for everyone, or is it only for a certain group, right? Only Americans, only rich people, only certain racial group, right? That is this good really meant for everyone, or is it only certain people? And some people, I think it's only for themselves, only for myself, completely selfish. We might call it hedonism. Right? But even just absolute disregard for others, not thinking about even their own family, not thinking about even their own children, right? And so I think you can tell, to me, those are not good. But some people think it is, right? Some people, this is their values. And so what I'm pointing towards is maybe there are more universal concepts of good, and I think we kind of feel them, just, right? It's not just about me. It's not just about a certain racial group or a certain religion, or a certain country, right? It's not just about some small group. It's for everyone, right? Universal, all beings, right? And this is something that Buddhism teaches. It's wisdom and compassion, trying to see things as they are, and that's one thing I'm trying to do, right? Thinking about the seasons, thinking about getting older, but also this compassion, not only about myself, but about others, right? Compassion, we also call it kindness, right? Trying to be kind to others. I was going to say I try not to look at the internet too much, but that's a lie. I look at the internet a lot, and sometimes like on threads, maybe it's just the algorithm is throwing this stuff at me, but there's a lot of posts lately about people just kind of like putting down people working at minimum wage, right? Putting down people in the service industry, putting down baristas even, right? And that I can make cappuccino at home. How hard is it being a barista, right? Why should you be making $15 an hour? What is that, right? No, kindness is trying to be kind to everyone, right? And it starts just with people in front of me, right? But then extends out as far as I can to as many people as possible. It's not easy, right? It's maybe even not possible for me to be kind to everyone. I eat meat, so I'll instantly, I'm not being kind to animals, right? And animals in Buddhism are part of who we're supposed to be kind to, right? And yet, these are my values, right? As a Buddhist, to try and see things as they are, to try and be aware, but also to have this kindness and compassion for others. And so, we can look back, and I think we can see some horrible things that have happened in the past year, the past couple of years, and just, it can't be okay for people to be killed, right? For people to be killed by armed groups, by nations, right? It's war is just not okay. How can that just be okay and accepted? Right? That this kindness, this compassion, this wisdom, right, tries to see that. And it's not always easy. I think sometimes we feel helpless, right? I think some people feel much more motivated to try and make changes in the world than others. And I think for each one of us, though, we have to look at things, try and see things as they are, and feel this kindness and compassion. And maybe when we don't feel it, see that too. Because the most important thing maybe is that Buddha accepts you as you are. Whether I'm kind all the time or not, Buddha accepts you as you are. No matter what race, religion you are, Buddha accepts you as you are. Right? Gender, any gender, all genders, right? No gender, Buddha accepts you as you are. Male, female, trans, whatever. Age, Buddha accepts you as you are. And that's the compassion of the Buddha working on me. And so maybe I find some of this compassion, try and actualize it in my life, try to be like Buddha. Other times I see I'm so far from Buddha. I'm not Buddha. Right? And yet, that transformation is always happening. Buddha's always calling to us. Right? Buddha's always working on us, helping us see when away, see these values, and maybe see when I'm not living up to them. So I'm going to conclude Dharma Talk here. I can feel my voice, my throat getting scratchy, but I'm going to keep talking. So why don't we conclude the Dharma Talk with Kansho. Here we say the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, it's the Buddha's name, right? And we recite this name in gratitude to the Buddha and to help keep Buddha in mind. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Okay, I got to keep talking because we're not going to be done. The thing we do, we're going to ask you to come up and do incense offering. Robert will explain the details of that, but also you get to ring the bell. Okay, so we have this bell. The bell is called the Kansho. It's what you heard rung earlier, and normally one of us does it, Reverend myself or Reverend Michael Endo over there, to call you to service. But today we're going to ring the bell. Traditionally, it's 108 times. I don't think we're going to get exactly 108. It's okay. But the 108 refers to that samsaric stuff. Greed and desire, attachment, anger, hatred, delusion, ignorance. Okay? That these are the things that Buddhism tries to be free of. And so in one sense, I think a lot of times in Japan, they ring the bell 108 times to get rid of them, right? To magically dispel them. For us, we could think of it that way and to realize, I don't want to be greedy. Right? I don't want to get attached to things, to get stuck. Right? I don't want to be angry and hurtful and hurt other people. And I'd rather see things as they are than be tricked or be duped, right? And so in one sense, right, it's to try and get rid of them. But maybe in another sense, it's to remind me, oh yeah, that's me. Right? That I have this desire and attachment. I have this anger. I have this ignorance in me, and yet also hearing the Buddha's call. This is also our calling bell, right? And so maybe that's another thing. It's like Namo Amida Butsu. It's calling out to us to live our lives the best we can. Thank you, everyone. Wonderful to see you all here. I love seeing the smiles. I know, it's been, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5 years since the pandemic started, almost, huh? We're coming up on that. And that's a transformation too, because we couldn't even be here, right, for several years to be able to do this. We did it outside once, right? And finally, we're back inside. You can actually ring the bell, right? Are you excited? Excited to ring? Well, we don't get to do it yet. You have to listen to Robert. So Robert's going to explain, and maybe he's going to even do some announcements first, huh? I think we're going to have announcements, and then he's going to explain what to do, and then we get to do it. Okay? So take it away, Robert.
Okay, thank you very much, Sensei. For those of you who have a program, we have purple programs that we may have run out, but on the back we have a schedule of things that are coming up, and as Sensei mentioned, tomorrow, Wednesday, January 1st, is New Year's Day. We will have a New Year's Day service here at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then this coming Sunday, January 5th, we'll go back to our regular Dharma family schedule services, and we'll have the Shotsky Memorial Service for the month of January. And then the following Sunday is Honko, which is Shinran Shoni's memorial. We'll have Dharma school that day as well as the Honko service. And then I was told this morning that maybe the Dharma school wants to maybe enhance what I'm saying here, but I just found out this morning that we're going to have a guest speaker on Sunday, January 12th, an author, Sophie Dipti Sarkar, who wrote a book for children called Mixed Race. And so she's going to be a speaker on Sunday, January 12th for Honko. We have information downstairs. We're still trying to work out the details, but that's what's happening on the 12th. So we look forward to having you all come back, whether it be tomorrow, this Sunday, or next Sunday for Honko. And I also have a set of slides that I show on the monitor downstairs. It kind of looks back at 2024, as well as looking forward and the dates, tentative dates for 2025 coming up. So we have a lot. We have a lot that we look back on, but we do have a lot to look forward to. We really look forward to seeing you here and being part of the Sangha and being part of what we do here at the Buddhist Church of Oakland. One last thing is that we have this sheet of paper that actually I was trying to find on plastic stands, but this is a kind of a donation pitch. So your donation is greatly appreciated, and if you do use this QR code, it'll take you to the PayPal page to make a donation to the Buddhist Church of Oakland. So we would really appreciate any donation of any size. And actually, you can use, if you have cash, you can use the plate up here at the incense burner or the one outside the back door of the Hondo. Okay? Okay, so with that, I'd like to thank you very much for coming to today's service, and we'll do a quick demonstration for those of you who haven't gone through this exercise before. I'd like to call upon the person that I asked to come up and do this is Nia. Can you come up and... Nia came all the way from Seattle to visit us and do this for us, so I appreciate her being here. So basically, we'll start with the front row and come up and do a shoko, which is basically bowing, stepping forward 2 steps, and pitching the incense, putting it inside the burner, putting your hands in gasho, and bowing, and step back, okay? And then you would go to your right, and there's a plate there. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. This wasn't staged or anything. And then she'll go, oh, the door's not open. Let's see. Yeah. So then you'll come down here and the door doesn't open all the way because of our old heating unit, so please be careful. And for the younger ones, we do have a step stool here too. Okay, so you'll be able to reach, and Neil will go back to, where's the mallet there? And Sensei's handing it to her, for those of you who could see here, and she will ring the bell. Okay? That's it. That's all there is to it. And then you'll come back out here and walk down this walkway if you would, and you can exit that way. So thank you very much, Mia. So, if you have any questions or have any issues, please let me know. Otherwise, that's the conclusion of this service, New Year's Eve service. I'd like to thank Reverend Bridge for facilitating this service, and for his Dharma Talk, Reverend Michael Endo for assisting, our host group, which is downstairs, our host 10 group, chaired by Tricia Tamura Lee. Thank you very much for bringing refreshments today. And I'd like to thank the Zoom crew downstairs, taking care of our Zoom and YouTube broadcasts out to the internet. So with that, we thank you very much for coming once again. I'd like to wish you a happy new year, happy 2025, and thank you. Yes. Reverend Michael just wanted to cue me, is that when you go and do hit the bell, there's like a little circle there, like a target. And that's where you try and hit the bell there. Okay, so just look for the little target there. And if you have a problem seeing it, Sensei will help you see it. Okay? Other than that, thank you very much. Why don't we go ahead and start with the first couple of rows? And Toshi, why don't you go ahead? Thank you very much.
Can Yoko do it one more time? Is that okay? Okay.
What do you think? We have to rush because Michael's got someplace to go? Yeah, you can wait.